Hi, welcome to History 1301, Section 164. Once again, this is History 1301, Section 164 is U.S. history until 1877. So this is the first part, the first half of U.S. history that stops in 1877. Roughly speaking, this is the end of Reconstruction after the Civil War. So what we're going to be doing in this very first video, we're going to simply just go over the course. This is a class introduction that is going to guide you to this course. It's an eight-week course. And all the materials, all the instructions, all the requirements are already available on Blackboard. So we're going to, tour the webpage on Blackboard for you to identify where the assignments are located, the exams, and the lectures. And so this is a very, very important class introduction. It's identical to the first day of class. So this is, what students actually expect when they arrive to the class the first day. And, this is the syllabus day. The instructor goes over the syllabus, provides an overview of what the course is about. The requirements in terms of textbooks, if there are going to be any readings, also what the classes are going to be like, the method of instruction. This is also going to be very clearly identified here, and also the exams are going to be very well explained here. In other words, how many exams are there going to be in this class, and what are exactly the requirements, what is the format of those exams, the percentage points that those exams are worth. And also, once we clear that out, we're going to also talk about the term papers or assignments that will be due at the very end of the course, at the end of the semester. And also we're going to talk about extra credit opportunities as well. So again, all of that will be explained in this session. I would like to actually, go over the syllabus here, because the syllabus, which is already posted on Blackboard, has all this information, by the way. So everything I'm about to explain here is in the syllabus, but what I'm going to do here is just present it to you the way that you will hear it in class. Okay, so this is like a virtual class regarding the first day of class, the syllabus, and you're going to find out everything you need to know about this course and how to excel. Okay, not just pass it, but I mean the idea is that you master the material, you learn the material, and of course you also again excel. Okay, in this course as well. All right, so let us shift to the syllabus. And by the way, as I mentioned, the syllabus is going to be located on Blackboard. Let me bring it up here. Okay, the syllabus. This is a document that is already available on Blackboard. When you open the page on Blackboard, you will see at the very top of the left-hand column menu, there's a menu again with links. On the very top, there's going to be syllabus, the tab, the link, capital letters, and you're going to click on it, and you will see this page exactly like this. Again, it's actually a whole page there's also the file that's actually uploaded there as well. So at any rate, let us then go over the syllabus, all the essential, again, elements of the class will be explained, so you will understand what it entails to actually, do in this course in order to not only pass, but also excel. You'll be able to identify the assignments, the requirements, etc., everything. Okay. So once again, this is History 1301, Section 164, U.S. History to 1877. My name is Alfonso R. Lopez. I'll be your instructor in this class that is not going to meet on specific days during the week, but rather this is an online asynchronous course in which we don't have, of course, scheduled meetings. So all the classes will be delivered online, and I'll explain how this is going to be like again. But this is asynchronous, so there's no, again, timed meetings. In terms of the textbook, I decided just for this particular semester, this is something I just decided for this particular semester, fall 2020, not to assign a specific text for students to actually buy and follow again throughout the course, to be reading along the lectures, but rather because of the present situation, some students are struggling financially, etc. So I know it's difficult. So what I'll do is instead assign some readings on the side. Again, those are articles. Those are not textbooks. Those are not books you need to go and buy somewhere. Those are actually articles that I already uploaded on Blackboard, by the way, for you. So they're already there, okay? Those two articles, those required readings, are going to be necessary in order to complete a series of reports. There's going to be 2 reports at the end of the semester, okay? December, the last day of November, early December, around those dates again. So those are the writing assignments, okay? The papers, if you will, whether you want to call them reports or term papers, etc. So I'll explain that in a few moments. But again, those are the only required readings that are presented in this course. They're required, for you to actually go to Blackboard, read them, and answer a series of questions and turn those questions in at the end of the semester. Again, those are the writing assignments, so to speak. So there's no textbook, just because of this present moment that I'm trying to ease the burden, if you will, on students to just this semester, again, not to force them or make them buy a text at this point. Okay, so again, those are the 2 required texts. All right, so again, this is an online asynchronous course. It will be delivered, this course will be delivered fully online. Like I said, there's no designated class meetings, okay? So it's very flexible because this is something that you're doing in your own schedule, okay? Again, so I'm going to actually provide the lectures just like you're watching me right now, again, in a very identical manner. I'm going to actually record my lectures and post them on Blackboard, and you're supposed to watch each of those videos and actually write notes, because those are going to be materials that are going to be covered in the exam. So all of the exams are going to come from the lectures, okay? I'm actually providing here in those video recordings. So there's no need for you to be searching information outside of those recordings. All you need to do is just go to Blackboard and, just be watching those videos one by one, take notes, and when the exam comes, you pretty much, again, answer those questions. all the questions of the exam will be based on the material I'm actually providing, okay, on those video recordings. Okay, so if you need tech support, the college has, of course, services for you to actually provide guidance. If you need assistance, you may call tech support at HCC, and they will be more than willing to help you, again, how to navigate, for example, Blackboard if you need, again, assistance, again, using this platform. So once again, all of the materials, all the assignments are on Blackboard. It is through Blackboard that you access the lectures. The syllabus is on Blackboard as well. And you submit the exams or the writing assignments, the reports, the article reports, you submit those on Blackboard as well. So everything is really done through Blackboard, by the way. Okay. So the course description, just again, in a very, very quick way here, so you know, again, what this class is going to be about. Again, this is the first half of U.S. history. This is 1301. So the first half of U.S. history at the college level is going to venture from the pre-Columbian civilizations, the ancient world. Again, we go back to the ancient world in the American continent to look at the rise of Native American societies and Native American civilizations. We also look at Europe as well, the ancient world in Europe, just the formation very quickly at the rise of European civilization, looking very briefly at the ancient Greeks and the ancient Romans, and from that point, moving forward quite quickly to look at the age of discovery. This is when the Europeans are beginning to transform their societies around the 12 and 1300s. As a result of international trade, we're going to be looking at the rise of international trade. The Europeans are beginning to step outside of their borders in order to trade with other civilizations in the Middle East, particularly, and also in Asia. And with that, we're going to see a revolution in technology, navigation, exploration, which led to the discovery of America in 1492 and the meeting of those two worlds, the Native Americans and the Europeans. We're going to be looking, at the discovery of America, the process of the conquest of the Native American empires, like the Aztecs, for example, very briefly, and the Incas of Peru as well in South America. And also, we're going to be looking at the process of colonization, European colonization of the Americas in the 15 and 1600s. And Europeans are going to be coming in great numbers to establish colonies, trading outposts, etc., in different parts of the continent. And we're going to be paying attention closely at the factors that led Europeans to move to the Americas in great numbers. We're going to be paying attention to economic factors. There were economic factors, pushing Europeans into the American continent during this period of time, 15 and 1600s, but also religious factors, okay? There was people in Europe were also coming to establish their ideal societies and the like. In the Americas, the formation of religious colonies in North America by Great Britain. We're going to be paying attention to that as well. And we're going to be paying attention to the colonial period, the entire colonial experience. In other words, not just the process of early colonization, but rather how colonial societies are going to develop over time from the 1600s to the 1700s. Again, the interaction between the European settlers and the Native American groups will be examined. We're going to also examine the rise of the slave trade as well, because there will be, again, the introduction, of course, the peoples from Africa at very great numbers also into the Americas. We're going to be looking at the introduction of slavery, particularly in the colony of Virginia as well. And we're going to be looking also at how the cultures of the different peoples of the colonies, the European immigrants, the Native Americans, and the African slaves, how those cultures are going to change over time as they begin to interact with each other, and how those interactions between those different cultures are going to shape the history of the United States during the colonial period. Okay, we're also going to examine, of course, the process of independence at the end of the colonial period. We're going to see the 13 colonies moving towards independence, looking at the reasons why the 13 colonies decided to free themselves from England, looking at the American Revolution and the outcome, the independence itself. And then towards the latter part of the semester, we're going to be moving into the national period, okay, nationhood, the formation of the United States as an independent nation. We're going to look at that, some of the challenges that the new republic, the new nation faced in the first decades of its existence. We're going to be also paying attention at very important events that shaped the United States very early on in those first decades of nationhood, like the Industrial Revolution. We're going to be paying attention to the Industrial Revolution, how the Industrial Revolution is going to change American society. Industrialization, the rise of the factory system, for example, in the United States, and also the rise of new technologies like railroads and steamboats, etc. All of that will be assessed very thoroughly. And we're going to be paying attention to also social movements, religious revivals like the First Great Awakening, Second Great Awakening, also movements of reform movements, peoples that were trying to reform American society. We're going to pay close attention to that as well. And towards the end, the very last, of course, topic will be the Civil War. Okay, the American Civil War and Reconstruction will be examined at the very end of this course. Okay, so again, so this course is going to be divided into three main historical periods: the ancient world to the age of discovery, the colonial period, and the national period, all the way to the Civil War and Reconstruction. Okay, now, very quickly, so you'll gain a sense of the emphasis, if you will, my personal emphasis, or the perspective I take in, when looking at the past and trying to study the past and trying to also present it again to the class, how I teach, etc. What's important to note is that when I teach history, I try to teach history from what is called the global perspective. Okay, so all perspectives are valid. All perspectives are very, very useful. Okay, every history professor has a particular perspective, again, of history, a particular emphasis. They have, every professor has a specific specialization, a specific area of research and expertise that they bring to the class, that they're going to focus particularly and very intensely in their lectures. So they're all valid, okay? But my own perspective is to try to teach history from a global perspective. That is to say, so whenever we're examining anything, I try to see what was really going on around the world during this time, okay? Whether, for example, if we're studying the American Revolution, for example, okay? So the American Revolution, the factors that led to the American Revolution were not just rooted in the colonies, okay? Factors, things that were taking place in the 13 colonies here locally, but rather those were factors that were also involving other regions, other nations around the world, particularly the the European nations. Okay, the European empires were trying to reform, for example, their systems of trade, trying to regulate their own colonies more closely, trying to tax them because they were experiencing problems in Europe. But also in Europe, we're going to see the rise of new political philosophies, new political ideas that gave rise to what today we simply call democracy, for example. Okay, it was not called so back in the 1700s, but the idea of natural rights, for example, that citizens have certain rights, like, for example, the right to elect their leaders, to have proper political representation in the state, etc. So those ideas were written in Europe, but they came to the 13 colonies, and of course the educated class read about those ideas and again produced a pretty much an intellectual revolution, a revolution in thought, if you will, that altered the way people in the colonies thought about politics, for example, the ideal state. So this is just one example, again, of this perspective. It's called the global perspective, that I try to see trends. I try to see influences. Something that happened locally in one part of the world was influenced by outside events as well. Okay, whether there were economic forces or intellectual forces or scientific ideas that were innovated in different parts of the world, come to influence, for example, events in North America, in the colonies, that are going to create a new way of looking at the world, a new way of looking at politics, that is going to lead to change. So this is, again, going to be my perspective all across the semester, that I just don't focus on local history. Even though I talk about local history, I try to connect that local event to the rest of the world, how everything fits together, in other words, because we're all connected, okay? The 13 colonies, for example, or the United States, is not detached from the rest of the world. It's not an island into itself that is isolated from the rest of the world, but rather, when we see the formation of the United States, the development of the United States, it was developed by really a combination of influences that were coming from many parts of the world, whether there were European influences, okay, the arrival of the Europeans, for example, in the 15 and 1600s, to colonize the Americas, their interactions with the Native Americans, for example, also the introduction of the peoples of Africa that are brought again to the Americas in the slave trade. This is another, again, very important connection with the continent of Africa, that the United States is also very connected to the continent of Africa, because the African slaves that were brought during the 1700s and beyond were also bringing with them their own cultures. They brought their own religious beliefs and practices. They brought their own ways of looking at the world, and they got mixed, if you will, with the ways that peoples living here, whether they were European immigrants or Native Americans, etc., they all have their own unique cultures, and they're all going to, in a certain sense, come together and blend. There's going to be a lot of borrowing and sharing, even without people even noticing. Again, there's adaptation, there is appropriation of cultural ideas and values that people borrow from one another. And again, the United States is going to be shaped in that way. So again, this is my personal take when I teach history. Okay, you'll see it again in the lectures. Okay. All right. So we jump then into now the mechanics of this course. That is to say, so, all right. So we talked about what the course is going to be about. Now, what is the mode of instruction, the mode of learning? In other words, what do you expect? In other words, you're taking this course. It's an 8-week course. So what would you expect then? That learning is going to take place, how the instruction will be delivered. So as I mentioned a moment ago, all the historical material is going to be presented in a series of recorded video lectures, just like this one, okay? Recorded video lectures that are already available on Blackboard under instructional materials. So there's a link on Blackboard called instructional materials. It's just when the column, again, the menu column on the left, where the syllabus is, just below, you're going to see a link that's titled instructional materials. You click on that and you're going to see a folder titled recorded video lectures. Okay, so it is here that you're going to see all of the historical lectures already available there. Okay, and they're all divided by topic. Okay, let me just scroll here so you'll see it just like this. Okay, by topic. There's going to be 9 topics covered in the entire semester. So the lectures are not just random. They're very, very organized around themes. They're thematic, in other words. And there's going to be 9 themes, 9 historical topics that will be covered across the semester. So you'll see that they're also organized numerically. That is to say, you're going to see number 1, for example, Native American history, culture, and religion, up to 1492. That's the first theme, the first topic of the semester, okay? And it's there already on Blackboard. You're going to see it there, and it has 3 sessions, 3 videos. Every topic has 3 sessions, 3 videos of about, roughly speaking, an hour and 20 minutes each. Okay, roughly speaking, this is give and take. It's just like a regular class, okay? Identical to a regular class. So there are going to be 9, all right? 9 of those topics, and each topic will be covered in 3 videos or 3 sessions, each spanning about an hour and 20 minutes each, okay? So how this is going to work is that you're supposed to go to Blackboard and open the folder, for example, Native American history, culture, and religion, and you see those 3 videos and take notes, okay? You can stop them, you can watch them at your own schedule, your own pace and rhythm, etc. So the importance here is that you watch very thoroughly, again, that material, you take notes and save those notes, okay? Because when the exam comes, what the exam is going to be like is simply just asking questions on that topic. As a matter of fact, the exam, there are going to be three exams, and each exam is going to cover 3 topics. So we cover the first 3 topics, okay? Native American history, culture, and religion. That's one topic. There's 3 sessions on that. Then you go into the European discovery, conquest, and colonization. There's also 3 videos on that. And then you watch the third topic, the role of religion in the development of the North American British colonies. 3 sessions as well. And then we have the first exam. And the first exam is going to ask specific questions about those topics. Okay? Very, very simple. Okay? So there's no need for you to be, looking for material or sources outside of those video lectures. Okay? So the first exam, give and take, will be scheduled November 5th. So you have from now, okay, October 19th, okay, Monday, October 19th, all the way to November 5th to watch those three uh, uh, topics, take notes, and then answer the questions and turn them in again by November 5th. That's just one exam. And then we move into the colonial period. Three topics follow: the 4th, 5th, and 6th. The same procedure. Okay, it's exactly the same. So you go to Blackboard, you watch the 4th on the transatlantic slave trade, and then the 5th on colonial society in transition is called, and then the 6th on the American Revolution. And then there's going to be the second exam. That one is due November 23rd. Okay, you submit it on Blackboard. Again, there's a submission there. Again, it says submit work. There already you can see the tabs for first exam, second exam, and final exams. All the instructions are there. The questions are already there. So you don't need to wait again for me to. I will be sending you, of course, announcements. I'll be sending you reminders that when the exams are due, of course. But all the instructions are already there. Okay, the questions are there. Everything is already there, okay, for you to complete. And likewise, in the third topic, we cover the last three topics: the New Republic, then the Industrial Revolution, and then the Civil War and Reconstruction at the end. And likewise, you watch those three topics and then answer the questions that are presented for the final exam, because the last three topics covered is for the final, and the final is due December 10th. Okay, and by December 10th, you submit again the final. Okay, it's just like that again. So the lectures are there already for you to start watching them and take notes, etc. Just again, be mindful of the due dates for the first, second, and final exams, when you're supposed to be turning those works in, etc. And again, that's pretty much again how we're going to actually arrange the course. It's very structured, is very, very well organized, because there's no way you can get lost. In other words, the classes already are organized for you. They're already recorded. There's going to be an outline, just like here. You're seeing, of course, the document. So likewise, I'm going to be showing you maps, and there's going to be bullet points, etc. You're going to be seeing a train of thought. In other words, the point by point analysis I'm presenting on the lecture, etc. So there's no way you can be lost, because those are very well structured, very well organized historical topics. Okay, so when we talk, for example, about Native American history, culture, and religion, the first topic, that's all I'll be lecturing about. Okay, for 3 sessions, for 3 classes. And you take any of those, again, topics, and that's all we're going to be talking in those particular topics. Again, whether we're talking about the slave trade, for example, that's what we're discussing. Okay, so this is how everything is organized. This is how everything will proceed. And again, it's 8 weeks. So I suggest that you really devote time to be watching the lectures, to be taking notes, and to discipline yourself to actually, again, go over the material, because there's no other way. Again, you can actually excel in this course without actually, watching those video presentations, all of those lectures, and be taking those notes. Okay. So there's going to be 3 exams, as I mentioned. Okay. The first and second exams are worth 20%, and the final is 30%. Okay. And they're all going to be based on the material presented in those video recordings. Okay. So the exam format is that what I'll do is that I'll draw a series of questions from each of those topics. For example, the Native American history, culture, and religion, there will be a series of questions drawn from that particular topic. And the second topic on the European discovery, conquest, and colonization, likewise. Okay. And so what you're supposed to just do is look at those questions and go over the material, go over those lectures, and just type the answers. Try to be very descriptive. I'm not, expecting that you just answer very quickly, again, those questions, but rather, if you're trying to ace this class, if you're trying to excel this class, I'm expecting that you really delve into the material. You provide examples, details, again, to try to answer as fully as possible, extensive answers, if you will. Okay. So this is what I'm expecting, again, that this is not just a short answer, but rather, try to elaborate fully in-depth elaboration. Details. I'm very picky about details, in other words. So instead of just trying to rush through the answer, trying to just, spend some time trying to explain, again. For example, if you're trying to explain the different historical phases of Native American history, when there were hunters and gatherers, for example, try to explain, okay, what hunters and gatherers were, how they lived, what kind of religion they practiced. It's all going to be there. So try to provide details. What kind of gods did they pray? What kind of gods they worshipped and why? What kind of ceremonies they did, etc. So all of that will be explained there quite thoroughly. Okay, so also the exams are going to be based exclusively on the material presented in the video lectures. I'm emphasizing this over and over again so you understand that. So when the exam comes and you submit the exam, I'm expecting that the answers you provide all come from the lectures. So please, refrain from using outside sources, like, for example, web pages or encyclopedias or books or articles. Okay, so those, again, outside sources are totally prohibited, again, in the exams. So this is very important, that if I start reading something I did not lecture, something that was coming from a web page, etc., your work will be disqualified. Okay, that's very important. So your only source is already there on Blackboard. Those are the video lectures. That's what you need to watch, in other words. All right. If you're trying to excel in this class, once again, if you're trying to earn an A or a solid B, I rather, again, try to earn the A, try to be in that range, because, again, GPA is very important in college, and of course when you graduate, what kind of school you're going to go to, if you want to get a good job, etc. Of course. So 3 exams, and they're all going to be based on the lectures. And of course, there's also the possibility for extra credit assignments. They're already posted on Blackboard. You go to the Blackboard page, you're going to see there under course assignments. Okay, course assignments. There's going to be a link there. It says course assignments. You're going to see there a folder that says extra credit assignments. There's 3 extra credit assignments. Everybody's entitled, okay, regardless of your grade standing, etc. So it's just what it entails is just reading an article and answering questions on the article. Okay, all the instructions, in terms of the format, the layout, etc. All of that is explained in the instructions. Okay, and each extra credit assignment is worth 10 points, which can be added to the exams. Okay, there's 3 exams, there's 3 extra credit assignments. So if you want to do 1 extra credit assignment, that's fine. You can add those 10 points to any of the exams you want, by the way. Okay, so I'm trying to here also help you boost your grades by providing opportunities for you to earn additional points, but this is something that will require for you to actually, again, discipline yourself and trying to do some work like reading an article, answering questions, and the like. Okay. All right. So again, this is something that is already posted on Blackboard. Also, there is 2 course assignments due at the end of the semester. This is something I mentioned in the very beginning of this class introduction. 2 assignments that involve reading the 2 required readings. This is at the very, very beginning of the syllabus. Again, I show you that there's 2 articles that are already available on PDF files of Blackboard. Okay. Also under course assignments. So if you go under course assignments on Blackboard, this is where you're going to see the extra credit assignments. There's going to be a folder. There's going to be 2 folders. One says Article Report 1, and the other one is called Article Report number 2. Okay, those are the 2 course assignments that are due towards the end of the course. I believe is November 30th. Okay, so Article Report number 1 is very simple. The instructions are here. Even in the syllabus itself, you can find the instructions in the syllabus. It tells you how to actually go about writing it, the format, etc. And it tells you that you're supposed to read this article, again, the Powhatan Indians and the English of the 17th century. Again, this is an article that talks about the interaction between the English settlers of Virginia colony and the Native American groups, and how each group had a very unique way of looking at the world. It had a unique way of looking at religion, how they practice religion, and we're going to see how each group view the other. In other words, so you read this article, which is already available on Blackboard, again, under course assignments, and you are required to answer a series of questions based on this article. Okay. The questions are there. Again, you can see here, there are 5 questions that need to be answered quite thoroughly. This report is just a report. All you do is just read the article, answer the questions, and you turn it in at the end of the semester. This is 15% of the final grade. And there's a second article report that likewise quite identical. It tells you to also read an article that is already available on Blackboard, again, regarding the Civil War, the freeing of the slaves. In this case, Who Freed the Slaves is called. So in this article, you read it, and likewise, there's a series of questions, 5 questions that you must answer, and at the end of the semester, also submit it for, again, it's also worth 15% of your final grade. So this is how the grade distribution looks like. First and second exam, 20% each. Final exam, 30%. And then article report number 1, 15%. Article report number 2, 15%. Total, 100 points. So this is, again, the grade distribution. Again, most of the grades come from the exams. The 70%, again, comes from the exam alone. And 30% comes from those writing assignments, those course assignments, the reading of the 2 articles again, and the answering the questions due at the end. So again, this is in very quick terms what the course is going to entail in terms of the expectations, for example, how what to expect in this course in terms of the instruction. Again, the instructions will be all delivered through video recordings. Those are online lectures like this. They're recorded. They're based on themes. The lectures are already organized around themes. They're already posted on Blackboard. And there's 9 topics, again, that will be covered, or 9 themes covered around the semester. There'll be 3 exams. Each is going to cover 3 topics, again, and there's going to be 2 course assignments. Now, again, there's here a kind of tentative course schedule, again, that tells you the topics that are covered and when the first exam is due. It tells you the first exam is due November 5th, Thursday, okay? The first exam, again, you must submit the answers for the first exam on November 5th. And then it tells you that, well, then you will go into the colonial period, the topics we covered on the colonial period. And then when we have the second exam is due on Monday, November 23rd, okay? And likewise, the last part, it also tells you the topics that we cover and when the article reports are due November 30th, it tells you there, and when the final exam is going to be. Also, it's going to be on December 10th as well. Okay, December 10th being the due date for the final exam. Okay, so this is, again, in very, very quick, very general terms, the content of the course, the overview of the material we're going to cover, and also the structure, how the class is going to be structured. Now, let me just add again, so one more page here, so you can see in very, very quick, terms, what this 8-week course entails. Again, 1301, section 164. Once again, instruction will be delivered through recorded video lectures, just like this one. As I mentioned, I repeat, those lectures are not going to be given randomly, but rather they're going to be organized around themes or topics. There's going to be 9 historical topics covered in the semester. Okay, 9 historical topics or themes. Each is going to be divided into 3 videos each. Okay, 3 videos, 3 sessions each. There's going to be 3 exams. Okay, each exam is going to cover 3 topics. Okay, as I explained just a few moments ago. And there's going to be also 2 article reports due at the end as well. Okay, so this is, again, in very, very general terms, what this class entails. So let me just see if I can okay, so all right. So that's what, again, this course entails. If you have any questions, please let me know. Any doubt, any concern, any difficulty. For example, if you have difficulty locating certain instructions, etc., please let me know. Send me an email. This is the fastest way to reach me. Again, the easiest way and the fastest way to reach me will be through email. I'm actually checking my email on a daily basis, so I'll respond to you as soon as possible. If you have any questions regarding any of the classes, for example, any of the material, etc., please let me know. Okay, so my name is Alfonso Lopez, and I'll be your instructor for this class this semester. And once again, I will be available to respond to any doubt, any question. that you might have regarding this class. All right, that's all I have for you. Then I'll see you then in the video recordings, in the video lectures. Thank you. Goodbye.